Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And we are talking about the HOKA Clifton 8.
Cal Ripken, Baltimore, number 8.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Only matters to me. This is kind of like an Iron Man. It's one of those shoes that keeps on going and going.
It does.
Jeremy, our reviewer, last year he put in over 1,000 miles on 2 pairs. Meg has put in close to that.
Countless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a little history lesson for those of you who don't know.
Let me put on my bifocals.
Yeah, let's go back in time. It's like early 2000s or 8 years ago.
It's early.
Yeah, it's
pretty much yesterday.
Yeah, it's maybe like 2016, who knows.
Right.
But what was 8 years ago? It's 2021? I can't do that kind of math.
It was 2013.
2013, around there. This lands on me. It's the HOKA Clifton. And that time, they didn't even have, like, it wasn't a HOKA Clifton 1. It was just,
dude,
hey, it's a HOKA Clifton.
You know where I'm going with this. You didn't say my one.
I didn't say one. But anyway, so this lands in my office. I look at it, I pull it out of the box, and compared to everything else that was out there at the time, this thing looked like a moon boot.
What did you think, seriously?
I was like, this is the ugliest thing. What is this? And it's the craziest thing because how experience changes perception. So I started running it, I was like blown away. I was like, not only does this feel different than anything I'd ever run in, it's light, it has a nice soft roll. They nailed the rocker, like coming through your stride.
Were you a fan of it, like right out of the gate?
Oh yeah, okay. Like I was like, Megan, you're not gonna believe this, you gotta try this shoe. Megan ended up going like through 4 pairs of these. This became her favorite shoe, like right away. So when we first got this blew us away, like blew us out of the water. And now we're on the 8th version, and I gotta tell you, it's not that much different. It's just been tweaked a bunch.
And so I know the middle versions kind of sucked, like you weren't a huge fan of them. A lot of people weren't, like 4 and 5.
It's a Clifton 5.
Okay, that was the one I feel like everyone hated.
Yeah, it started downhill on this one. The midsole composition was a little bit different. Just the feel of it was bulking up. I mean, when you compare it to this one, which was paper thin on the whole upper, it just was like cutting weight and really light. This one gained weight, and we had a lot of nostalgia for this, and they actually brought this one back out in this
like 2
format.
years ago?
Yeah. And you know what I realized? I had a lot of nostalgia for this shoe.
You didn't love it as much as
I didn't. I was like, wow, there has been some improvements.
So here we are, number 8.
Yeah, number 8.
Okay. Is it that much different than number 1 or even number 7?
It's not a ton different. And I'd actually have to say, you know, sometimes you get stuck in a rut. And while this isn't a bad shoe, it's just a lot of other shoe companies have caught up to it. A lot of shoe companies have developed new foams, have created different shoes that are versions of this. Like one of the closest to HOKA would obviously be the New Balance More 3. And they're using a fresh foam midsole, which has a little more bounce, a little more give, just a nicer feel. And they've nailed the rocker in that one. So I feel like HOKA, this is a warning. This is probably the last time I want to see a Clifton that's so similar to, you know, what you've had out there. We need to upgrade the materials.
Here's the thing. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit debate. I swear to you, we'll get to this review. There's a part of us that gets mad when people change things, but then there's also a part of us that's like, you need to innovate. So where's the cross section there?
Well, that's why I'm glad I brought these out, because I think the nostalgia, sometimes as a shoe wearer, you're like, I really like that shoe was great, I wish they still made that shoe. They come out with it, and this kind of didn't really hit. You could take what's the DNA of the HOKA Clifton, but upgrade, like EVA midsole, they die, they feel flat after a while. The thing that saves...
Is this my opportunity to point out that I wore a HOKA Rincon and it died after?
Yes, say it again.
I have to say it in every video.
But it does die out, and what saves this particular shoe from being horrible after a few miles is it really does have a nice rocker geometry and enough of the EVA that it kind of stays like Jeremy putting on thousands of miles, it can go the distance.
And let me say, I'm actually a first-time Clifton wearer. So this is the first go-around. Before I was just like, whatever, just everyone else can wear it. And so I first put it on and ran in it, and I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I get the Clifton thing, where it feels great, it feels nice, but at the same time, after you wear it for, 10 or 20 miles, you're like, okay.
It just starts feeling like a shoe.
It starts feeling like a shoe, and I feel like a lot of those companies, everyone has the max cushion shoe now. Everyone's putting out their version of this. I mean, we know that. We literally talk with companies and they're like, this is our HOKA shoe. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you compare it, and I even think this is a newer model than the original HOKA, but when you talk about when you're comparing it, you had this firm Lunarlon
This is 6
foam.
years. This is a Peg 32 6 years ago.
Yeah, you had the Lunarlon foam. It was pretty thin underfoot. You didn't get a ton of cushioning. It's not exactly light. So when this came out, you're like, I mean, look at that.
It's insane.
That looks insane. You look at the shift. I mean, hell.
Nike Invincible.
Nike Invincible. You look at these shoes. Everybody, the More 3, everybody has a max cushion shoe now, and they're getting in the space. So, I mean, yes, we'll get into the review of this shoe and what's nice about the update, but we are gonna say, hey, HOKA, there's a warning. You better work on some foams or something that brings this up to pace, because right now this is just another well-cushioned shoe.
I feel like they milked that EVA cal for all it's worth. They've done a good job of taking EVA to its limits and providing a great and light ride, but I do think, at least in some of the shoes, we need to see some new stuff going on. Anyways, let's get into the freaking HOKA Clifton 8.
So the HOKA Clifton 8, go ahead, Robbie.
Okay, so what we got in this year's version is slightly different midsole, supposedly 15% lighter. I don't know. The weight comes in, I think, at the exact same as last year overall.
Let's see.
Are we getting the weight done right now?
Yeah.
Might as well.
The weight is 9.38 ounces for the 7, 9.3 ounces for...
It's the exact same thing, yeah.
For the 8.
So even though there is a bit lighter of a midsole here, the extra weight comes in with the upper, which is nice. It's a very comfortable upper. You got an engineered knit, I think they called it. I don't know. That they did in the press conference yesterday. Yeah. The tongue is insanely comfortable. You get a really nice lock.
Robbie, I gotta tell you, you
don't like it?
No, and just feeling these two shoes and looking at them side by side, there's no difference in these shoes.
Dude, the tongue definitely has more like plush cush.
It's the same.
Okay, someone who gets both these shoes, can you comment?
Yeah,
tell me I'm right.
Do the review for us.
The overall upper isn't so much different. This is more like silky smooth, right? Yeah, it is.
It feels the same to me.
You need to get your freaking what do you?
Fingers checked.
Your nerves.
Tactile.
I don't know.
The mesh on the 7 was a little more open, but feels a little thicker. You come down to this one, yeah, it's a little thinner, so maybe a little more breathable. I mean, the silhouette of the shoe looks pretty similar. It looks like there's a little less volume in the toe actually than in this one, but I mean, you're talking elf ears.
I would say this is more supple.
Okay.
That's my view there.
Yeah, potentially more supple.
Okay, I mean, who knows? I haven't worn the 7, so whatever.
Yeah.
But I love the ride of this. You do get that nice amount of cushion and that roll through with the Meta Rocker technology. Kind of like, it's just a nice overall. I get why people like the Clifton. Easy
on your legs. It feels good. It rolls through your stride. Does a lot of things right.
Oh, this does have more rubber on the outsole.
It does. You can see that right there. It's hard to tell, but look at it on the heel. There is more rubber. It's kind of spread out a little bit more. I didn't have a problem with wear on the rubber on this one, so I don't know where the need for that was other than just shifting some stuff around. It doesn't feel different.
If you love a Clifton, you're gonna love this shoe. If you haven't tried HOKA before, this is a pretty good shoe to just get into.
I did find it interesting that this was Robbie's first experience with the HOKA Clifton. And he did immediately like text me and be like, hey, the Clifton's no joke. So when we're giving these criticisms, it's not that we don't like the shoe. We like the shoe. We're just kind of seeing it like of hit like a, what
do you call that thing?
A wall?
Holding pattern? Holding pattern.
Yeah, it's kind of hit a holding pattern. And I just feel like if Hoka innovates on shapes and styles of their midsoles and that kind of stuff. You've seen like the 10.9, you've seen,
the Clifton Edge. You've seen some weird stuff. Apparently they have like a new shoe coming out that nobody knows about. That's supposed to be cool.
And I'm hoping that maybe it's time to try something different in the midsole, give it a little more bounce, a little more airiness. And maybe now where it used to be a really lightweight, heavily cushioned shoe, it needs to be a lightweight, heavily cushioned shoe with a little more pop or energy return or bounce, however you want to put it.
Who's this shoe for? What's it meant to do? If people don't know.
I find it could work for anybody. Like, this is a really nice daily trainer that's not going to beat up your legs. It's great for increasing your mileage. So if you want to start doing longer and longer runs, this shoe can definitely keep your legs fresh for a longer period of time. And that's where the real benefit of this shoe comes in. It's lighter weight. It has plenty of cushioning. Your recovery time is going to be a little faster with this shoe. I think that's why Jeremy uses it so much and Megan uses it so much, because they chew up mileage. Mm-hmm. And this shoe is easy enough on their legs that when after a workout, they can, recover faster and they don't feel like totally beat up. Okay. Inevitably, people are going to ask us, would you go with this or the Mach 4? Or would you go with this or the More 3?
Or the Rincon.
Or the Rincon. For me, I've shifted. Clifton used to be my favorite Hoka. I really think the Mach 4 is my favorite at this point. And if you want to go favorite with a plate, I actually like the Carbon X the best. So if I was picking one Hoka shoe that I was going to go with, it'd be the Carbon X2. And that would be my choice.
Would you take that over the Mach 4?
Yes.
Okay. I've actually let these guys run in a lot of the Hokas.
He lets us.
Your permission granted.
Thank you, Robbe.
Yeah. I assign most of the shoes to the other viewers for the Hoka, but so the Mach 4 I still have yet to try. I actually asked,
you didn't try
I asked for it yesterday.
Okay,
so
cool.
Hopefully I get it soon.
So Robbe, what's the drop on this sucker?
Drop is 5 millimeters with a 29 millimeter stack height in the back and a 24 in the toe. So yeah.
It sounds like 5 millimeters, yeah.
Yeah, 5. It's true.
Yeah. With a rocker design.
Mm-hmm. And so that's basically the same as last year. It is the same as last year.
That's all I got.
Okay, this is a big review. People love the Clifton, love seeing what's new with it. Not a ton, but it's still a solid, reliable daily trainer.
All right, so I know you really like this video. So take that little mouse and click it on the thumbs up. Mm-hmm. If you haven't already, subscribe. Check us out on our podcast, The Drop.
Follow us on Instagram, of course. We've got some A+ content coming out on there.
A+.
Yeah, that's my own grading system. It doesn't go below A+. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like some other review sites.
Yeah, everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Robbe and I just got back. Whatever you do, don't get the sports magazine betting thing.
Yeah, and don't buy Bitcoin. It tanks in like, how many years away were we?
You got 1 million years till Bitcoin tanks.
Yeah, if you live to be that old, make sure you sell it.
Oh, and by the way, I can't tell him.
What?
It's really bad news about
COVID
being over.
Oh, that it never ends?
Yeah, it never ends.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, you're still wearing masks in 20 years.
You're quadruple mask.
Not us. We've been triple vaxxed.
Yeah, we're good. We got the vaccine from 1.5 million years from now.
All right, ready, Robbe? I'm going to snap my fingers and we'll disappear.
All right.